All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to break down this really amazing framework that's all about helping you become a true expert in your field. We're talking about the Bookable Authority Model. I mean, just think about it for a second. We are drowning in information, right? There are so-called experts everywhere, content coming at us from all sides. So the real question is, how do you cut through all that noise and become a real authority? The kind of person people actually go out of their way to listen to. Well, that's the exact problem we're tackling today. This whole explainer is about the Bookable Authority Model, which is a framework with one very clear goal: to make you the person who gets chosen for all the best opportunities. Okay, so you know how every strong building needs a solid foundation? Well, this model is no different. The entire thing is built on one core idea, and that foundation is called Total Audience Market Immersion Sustained, or TAMI for short. So what does TAMI actually mean? It's basically the practice of getting your expertise completely embedded into your target market's world. This isn't about just yelling your message from the sidelines. No, this is about becoming a crucial, respected voice from the inside. And how do you do that? You get immersed through these kinds of activities. This is the real work of sharing what you know. Writing a book to put all your ideas in one place, hosting a podcast to find and use your voice, getting your face and name in the media, getting up on stage and speaking, and yeah, even getting your expertise into AI networks so you can be found. This is where you put in the reps. All right, so once you're out there doing the work, you start to generate something super valuable. And that brings us to the next layer of the model, what we call the currency of credibility, authority signals. Think of authority signals as tangible, recognizable units of credibility. They're the proof. They're the receipts that show the world you know your stuff. You know, it's one thing to say you're an expert. It's a whole other ballgame to have these signals that prove it without you even having to open your mouth. And look, you can see the direct link back to that foundation we just talked about, right? The book you wrote now becomes a published book. That's a huge signal. Your media work turns into media quotes. Your own podcast gets you invited as a guest on other people's shows. These are the tangible results, right there with things like certifications or those little verified badges you see online. So, you've laid the foundation and you're starting to collect the currency. But how do you build real, unstoppable momentum? That's where the engine of this whole model fires up. It's called the Authority Helix. Now, this isn't just a straight line from A to B. The Authority Helix is a dynamic, self-reinforcing cycle. Every signal of authority you create gets you more recognition, and that recognition opens doors to new opportunities, which in turn creates a powerful upward spiral of authority. It literally feeds itself and gets bigger and bigger. Let's walk through how that engine actually works. Step 1, you create a signal. Let's say you publish a really insightful article. Step 2, the market sees it and gives you recognition. Step 3, that recognition leads to selection. Maybe you get invited to speak at a conference. Step 4, that speaking gig gives you massive amplification. And here is the magic part. Step 5, that new, bigger audience creates even more and even stronger signals. And then the whole cycle starts over, but from a much higher starting point. So where is this helix actually taking you? What's the end game for all this hard work? Well, the destination, the very top of this model, is a place called the selection economy. The selection economy is that amazing place where you completely flip the script. You stop chasing opportunities because the opportunities start chasing you. It's where the key decision makers, we're talking the gatekeepers to the best projects, the best clients, the biggest platforms, are actively looking for you because your authority is just undeniable. And who are these people doing the selecting? They're journalists who need a credible source for a story. They're podcast hosts who want an amazing guest. They're conference organizers looking for a headliner. They're high-value clients who want to work with the absolute best. And more, it's even AI engines that are programmed to find and recommend the top voices in any given field. So let's just put it all together and see the whole flow. You start with the foundational work of total audience market immersion. That work produces the currency, the authority signals. Those signals power the authority helix, that upward spiral of momentum, which finally carries you into the selection economy, where the best opportunities come knocking on your door. Really, if you boil this entire model down to one core idea, it's this. Authority emerges when credibility signals saturate the environments where expertise is evaluated. In other words, it's all about showing up consistently with proof in all the places that matter. This model really does give you a clear roadmap, a step-by-step guide to go from being just another voice in the crowd to being a sought-after authority. So that leaves us with just one final and maybe the most important question for you to think about. Which authority signal are you going to build next?